There are many ways to approach self-reflection. Some might say the best way is to stare directly into the mirror and simply observe what they see. That never works, at least not for the long run. Writing, therapy, and circles of sharing are all useful ways to start the process of self-reflection. Some, and I do mean some, of us find the most ingenious ways of taking a relatively simple concept like self-reflection on the human experience and find uncanny ways of morphing it into a quest of efficiency and engineering. This is an attempt on self-reflection in a very uncanny way, told through the story of the efficient engineer, me. The only way to effectively reflect onto yourself is to see yourself through your subjective perspective as a potential of cause and effect, not a fully fleshed out character of some sort who stands on an unshakable ground of self-proclaimed morals and ethics. Definitely not morals and ethics that need to be exercised upon others in order to make them more real or noble. I have found that it's important to see yourself as capable of both subjectively good and bad effects in order to have a pure reflection of self. Basically, it's in your best interest to be careful of becoming easily swayed by the morals of society or others outside of yourself. That is the only way to find your true North Star. It can be difficult to find yourself and your self-reflection when we as people rely on so many external sources to gauge a sense of self. The purity and the reflection that comes back to you, mental, visual, or otherwise, is fundamentally skewed. That's nothing new, though the ability to be conscious of that, either flawed or by design perfect system, is where the agency resides. And that can feel new. This particular project had the potential to be just that, a project, though at the risk of working in an inefficient manner, a decision was made to add in and incorporate smaller projects that the benefit of their function, when finished, affected the initial A project. Reflecting onto the self, one might say it's a good idea to combine one big project and smaller projects when you can, saving valuable time. Another self-reflection onto the self might be, if I keep adding less time-consuming projects onto the project I am currently working on for the sake of being efficient, it just might turn out it's in fact not efficient at all. Being that the efficiency in this situation is measured in completed projects. Organized spaces and organized tools is this engineer's happy place. Free from worry, free from loss, there's a place for everything, and everything has its place. If I need it, it's there. With my current self-reflections on the ways I go about creating this happy place, it appears that my happy place is actually really far away. This project paves a road to that happy place, intelligently designed hexagonal shapes of panels 3D printed from PLA or PETG. PLA basically just meaning plastic. PETG, a stronger thermoplastic, is one of the carefully laid bricks lying in this paved road. Self-reflection in this context is it better to use the laid bricks or collect bricks to lay? After all, the raw science of this project is taking things that you use every day and putting them in a place that's visible and accessible, most likely on the wall. You also have inserts and attachments you can choose from. Even further, you can essentially redesign these original designs to put your needs and specs. Using a CAD software, of which there are many to choose from, surely you can see where this is going. This particular engineer, me, most certainly cannot. It's almost as if the real task at hand is how to continually add more smaller projects onto the main project by virtue of just simply having options. There are times to accept, to the best of your knowledge at the time, the design that's laid ahead of you. Then there are times to redesign from scratch. The moments of feeling into whether or not either choice was the best use of your time are few. In the end, we determine which cannot be placed upon the external for approval or even judgment. The biggest reflection comes in at Act 3. While we have been watching this efficient engineer create things that, well, in perspective, will help with becoming more efficient, there have also been doubts, setbacks, confusion, and even apprehension. Also, a preventative measure has been taken in case of paralyzing procrastination or voluntary or maybe even involuntary sabotage were to ensue. This efficient engineer has placed a bounty, I guess, on the completion of the video you are watching now. A commitment was made to a friend. That friend is named Tasha. And Tasha will, with much enthusiasm, physically burn $125 of the efficient engineer's money if this video is not uploaded before a specific agreed upon date and time. Drastic measures were taken to disrupt the, quote, "this will save time" / "this is efficient," end quote, loop. If this video in fact makes it onto YouTube before the appropriate date, before the appropriate time, we will know that this efficient engineer's allegiance to the pursuit of perfection in the form of maximum efficiency isn't an allegiance at all, but a safe place buried underneath all of the unfinished projects and broken commitments to the self, in an effort to never feel the purifying light of the unknown and uncertainty of putting out unfinished projects. The project shown in this video was completed.